Chapter 1. Part 2. They reached the 5th level and what they found was not good news. There were about 40 mercenaries there, many of them wounded who were retreating to the upper levels. Agnoruk advanced decisively until he met Diana, the warrior who commanded the century of mercenaries. What has happened? They appeared on the 7th level an hour ago out of nowhere. I think they dug a tunnel to get into the gallery. It was a good idea to have a detachment in the galleries of the mine, Agnoruk. Gosburg commented. It was necessary, so they took the fortunate mines at the beginning of the war. Replied the half-orc looking at the wounded, it seemed that there were no more survivors. Also, just when we are attacked on the surface. Diana sighed before continuing with her story, she was fatigued. We tried to resist, but it was impossible. They are very well-trained troops. They advanced through the gallery in phalanx formation without anything being able to confront them. So we did what you had planned. On the 6th level we caused a controlled collapse of the gallery. And? Agnoruk asked expectantly. The collapse was not complete. The dwarfs are removing the stones quickly. Soon they will advance again to the higher levels. Gosburg lit a cigarette, while Agnoruk shook his head. We didn't plan it quite right. Lamented the half-orc. The walls of this mine are very stable. Gosburg tapped a pillar in the gallery a few times. What do we do, Agnoruk? Diana was taking her sword to accompany the half-orc. You will go up to the 1st level, stay at the entrance with 6 of your own. Those who are not badly wounded should come to Critus. We have to defend the outer wall. Diana opened her eyes. She did not expect that order. She wanted to take revenge for the defeat she had suffered, but she continued to listen to the half-orc's orders. If we haven't returned before the sun descends on the eastern peaks, you should throw away the main pillars at the entrance. But sir, that would destroy the whole mine, exclaimed the mercenary perplexed. That's right. But the dwarfs will not take us by 2 fronts and we will be able to hold out until reinforcements arrive. Diana was paralyzed. Agnoruk and Gosburg were going to certain death, and even if they sacrificed themselves, without the 2 of them, resistance in the mines would be impossible. It's an order, comply with it. Agnoruk shouted to provoke the mercenaries' reaction. It's 2 against a legion of dwarfs. Diana wasn't going to let them die alone. Diana, it's an order, go up to the top level and if we haven't left before sunset, comply with the captain's order. Gosburg was much more serene than Agnoruk, who was already descending into the 6th gallery. The mercenary could not get over her amazement. Of course both the half-orc and the Denka were great warriors, but the idea of fighting the 2 of them alone against an army of dwarfs was suicide. In addition, the first order they received upon arrival at the Red Mines from Debok was as their main priority to try to keep the mine safe and operational, as it is the main source of Demember's fortune. That dependence was much greater now that they lost control of the other 2 main mines. In the end Diana gave up. She was actually paid to obey orders without question. He reluctantly helped the wounded up to the upper level, as he watched as Agnoruk and Gosburg advanced towards the 6th level, disappearing from his sight. Destroying this mine is something that Demember cannot afford. Gosburg commented as they began to hear the footsteps of heavy boots. If we fall, it doesn't matter if the mine is destroyed or not, it will be enjoyed by the dwarfs in that case, not Demember. Gosburg smiled. You know very well that wars are based on gold or gems to sustain themselves. It doesn't matter if you don't have the former. The Denka threw the cigarette on the floor. Both stopped at a place that seemed propitious to face the dwarf phalanx that was approaching them. It is more important that debts to be overcome in a war can be paid. Agnoruk commented ironically. You begin to understand what this is about. The Denker smiled as he pulled out a dagger and his eyes began to glow with a characteristic blue light. Too much light. It does not benefit us. Gosburg rarely used his powers in a blatant way, but this time he did. With a twinkle in his eye, the gallery was completely dark.